Welcome back, Suncoast MPI TV. John Marshall, I'm the owner of Suncoast MPI. This has been amazing, this platform, and why we're doing this is for people like this gentleman that's sitting next to me right now. This is the biggest why, because our organization is full of people that are rock stars in the category. That's you, Mr. Yerkes, that have a servant's heart. It's definitely you. That are committed to the commitment to make it thrive. That's what our chapters and our organization is full of. So we're doing this so we can actually highlight and spotlight you even more than just within the chapter. So we're talking to thousands of people out here, Mr. Yerkes. So who are you? I know who you are. I love you, man. But who are you, Mr. Don Yerkes?
It's crazy. I think you could sum me up. I have a T-shirt that says this, but I think you could sum me up in 3 words: God, family, country.
Whoa.
So that's kind of me in a nutshell. I mean, my relationship with God is the most important thing in my life, and my family would be second, and then I'm probably about as patriotic as they come.
Gotcha.
So that kind of easy summarization of me.
That's awesome. So you must love doing the Pledge of Allegiance every day in our chapters, huh?
I think it's great.
That's great, man. So I love it, and I know a lot of this stuff that we're talking about, but the audience doesn't. So what gets you fired up? What really motivates you?
I think the interaction with people and working with people and helping people get from where they are now to where they want to be. And that there's all different type of people you run into, whether it's in life, whether it's a kid that I work with at church, or it's someone I come into that is young and trying to figure out how to buy a house, and their budget's a mess and they don't know what they're doing, and I can help them figure out that structure. Or it's a lieutenant general and the military, and he's looking to move down here and retire, and I can help him make sure he gets what the right thing is for him. So those are things that motivate me.
That's really cool. And so even like you even said that earlier, but how about you? How did you get to where you are today?
Yeah, it was crazy. Like a lot of people, I kind of bounced around in the beginning of my life. I was an engineering technician, did some really cool stuff. I was a teacher for a little while. Started the mortgage industry in 2007.
Okay.
Wanted to get back into working with people. So I did that, came back to work with people. 2010, the company I was working for was opening an office here in Florida, asked me to be one of the people to come down and kind of get it started, so I did. Our industries, like a lot of industries, is pretty crazy.
Right.
So after going a couple different places, I did some underwriting, which is awesome. I learned the back end of things.
Yep.
Sometimes in life you take a step back, you don't realize it's a benefit, but it was. Ended up at Beta Bay Lending about 45 years ago, and was there in their operations side, and then moved back to the sales side. So that's kind of led me to where I am today. A lot of learning throughout the process, but as you go along, you can either, when you go through things in life, I saw something the other day that says, I either win or I learn. You don't lose. So that's kind of, I thought that was pretty awesome. And I'm like, you know what, that's true in my life a lot. Even when I thought, man, this is a step back, it's been a learning opportunity that I've been able to use today. So
that's awesome. Yeah, so Beta Bay, what is 4 or 5 years, is that what you just said?
I will be at 5 years in 2 months.
5 years and 2 months, congratulations.
Yeah.
So that's great. So tell me a little bit more about Beta Bay Lending.
So Beta Bay Lending, it's locally owned, been around for 13 years. The best way to describe it, we're a hybrid between what you get with a bank and what you get with like a broker. So we can sit down face to face. There's some people that say, Don, you have my social security, you have all my information. I want to sit down and shake your hand. They can come in and do that. Or I can work with somebody that's not even in our country, and everything's completely done remotely. So we're small enough to have the personal relationships and really understand that's what's important, but we're also big enough to have all the options. So it's pretty cool the way it's set up. I like being there because they allow me to work the way I want to, which is more of a customer-centered and educational-centered and things like that. So that's one reason I love working there.
That's cool. Anything else that stands out as far as differentiating yourself and Beta Bay in the marketplace?
Definitely. I think one of the big things I mentioned before is the experience I've had going through kind of differentiates me. I'm able to understand not only what an underwriter is looking for, but also the guidelines, how to calculate income, how to do these things differently. So when people are out looking to purchase a home, they actually have a different level of confidence that they're actually going to be able to buy that home when they're pre-approved through me. Also, I love doing what I do. It's not a job for me. It's fun. The difficult ones aren't even a job for me. They're enjoyment for me. They tick that part of my brain that's problem solving, and I get to go in there and figure out, okay, how do we not just make this happen, but how do we make this happen the right way? And as a company, we really have 3 pillars. So we have our peace of mind promise. That's the first one. So what that means is we take an educational approach to the mortgage industry. If I do a mortgage for somebody, I'm not making that mortgage payment. They are, right? So how many times do people sit down, or have you heard people, what kind of mortgage you get? What happened? I have no idea. It's what the guy told me I should do. That's so, in my opinion, unfortunate.
Right.
Because people should be able to, they don't have to understand everything, but they should be able to understand why what they did is good for them. And I think that's power for them to be able to do, so we do that. So that's 1, is our peace of mind promise. 2 is the unlimited options. The way we're structured, we can do everything from bank statement loans for a self-employed person. We can do investor loans. We have all the standard loans out there. We can do all that, but we take the time to ask the right questions. I said this in our NPI meeting the other day. What's the best breed of dog?
Yeah,
right?
I was there.
Well, who knows, right? It depends. If you have a cattle farm, it may be a blue heeler or something. If you live in a 600 square foot apartment, you probably don't want a St. Bernard.
Right.
But it's the same for mortgages. You know, so many people pigeonhole people into one size fits all type deal, but it shouldn't be that way. So taking the time to ask the right questions to figure out how can this mortgage be a part of doing something good for your family? Where does it fit with your goals? Where does it fit with your going? That's something different. So that's the unlimited options personalized for you. And the last one really is our best loan guarantee. Most people, for some reason, you know, they're going to look around different places, and we get that. I would do the same thing. I get that. We aren't always going to be the cheapest. We think the level of service we provide is going to be better than anybody else who's out there. In the case someone finds something better, we will meet or beat any competing offer.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We know if we get their business, they're going to be blown away by what we do, and they will come back to us time and time again, and they'll tell other people about us.
Yep.
So it's a calculated business decision, and it's the right thing to do.
Gotcha.
You know, if you're doing stuff for people, that needs to be part of it.
Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that. So if we go down, there's some specific products or programs that you guys offer that maybe that you want to talk about?
Yeah, we do two really cool things. I grew up in a military town. I grew up just outside Fort Knox in Kentucky. My brother's a flight surgeon. I had my brother and sister-in-law met in the Marine Corps. Another brother and sister-in-law met in the Coast Guard. I have a lot of family that's military, grew up around it. There's some people that work for us that are military. We want to do something for the military members that's a little different. So we actually give veterans an additional 1% credit on their loan, as well as reduced costs. So that's just a VA special, just standard, it's out there. On refinances, you hear a lot of stuff like no closing costs, no this, no that. We don't have any lender costs on our refinances. We don't try to put it out there in some gimmicky way, we just don't charge it. You know, so we do a lot of cool stuff like that. I mentioned before all the different options we have, but those are 2 things that we kind of do differently.
Gotcha.
That I really think are the best in the area.
That's very cool. We have about probably 3 minutes or so. So like, what do you think? What do you see on the market trends? What do you think? I mean, everybody's talking about they're up, they're down, rates, and what do you see as the market trends on the horizon?
So I think with rates and things like that, that's what people are really concerned about most of the time. Rates are going up a little bit, but they don't just, they change daily, and so it's a gradual rise. For instance, this past week, they've actually come back down a little bit. So as they start to slowly climb, they'll plateau, sometimes they come down a little bit. Ultimately though, if you think about it, rates are important, it's a part of it. There's so many other things that go involved, but think about renting versus owning.
Yep.
Even if the rates are a little higher, they were historically low in 2016, so people got kind of used to that. You know, they're not high, but it's way better if you can get in that home and own it versus paying that money just for rent.
Yep, I gotcha. I got turned on a game called Cash Flow. I'm going to turn you on to that. So how about some goals? Got some goals you want to share?
Yeah, so what I'm looking for really this year, I set myself a couple goals. I'd like to add 2 people to my team. People, maybe they enjoy working with people. Maybe where they're at in their life, they're looking for that next step in their career. They can come on, work with me. I will 100% train them, teach them how to be in this business, how to be successful in this business, what they do from the sales side, what they do from understanding side. of the back end process, I can teach them how to do that. And it's a benefit to them. I love this career. It gives me the flexibility. It gives me the opportunity to be with my family, but it also allows me to provide for them. And then another one, realtors. I mean, I'm looking for some partners, some people that look at the process the same way I do, people that care about their clients the same way I do. Integrity is a huge part of that for me. I'm not going to work with someone that just can make me a lot of money that doesn't have the integrity to do the right thing. That's not who I am, and that's not who I want my clients to work with.
Gotcha.
So those are some things I'm looking for.
That's cool. Hey, can we go to Suncoast MPI for a second?
Absolutely.
We can? Oh, yeah, man. So how about, what? Shoot it straight, man. Tell everybody, what's going on? What's your experience with Suncoast MPI?
I've been with Suncoast MPI. I just signed up for my 4th year.
4th year?
Yeah, I was looking back the other day, and I started in 2016, and I became president like 3 months after I joined the chapter.
Yes, you did.
And I was president until just recently when my term was officially extended as long as it could possibly be, and it was great. So I'm vice president now, but it's a great experience. It's great for the referrals and business that come to you. That's why we join it, right? That's part
Absolutely.
of it. But also the other parts, to be able to have those quality people, if I have a question, I can call them on my stuff. If I have a client, I did this twice yesterday, an insurance and a home inspector that are in my chapter. One of my clients was looking for both. And I was able to hook them up with both of those people and give them their information and provide a benefit to my client with people that I know, I trust.
Gotcha.
And that to me, as a professional, and saying, hey, I really want to be customer focused, to be able to have those other assets in my back pocket is just as valuable as the business I get from it.
That's awesome. And it's people like him. It's people like this guy, Don Yerkes, and I'm so psyched you're here. And we have more stuff to go over. So you have to come back, all day long. So he's a rock star, servant's heart, commitment to the commitment. Suncoast MPI, when we pull together,
We all win.
thanks, Don.
Yeah.